All right, KTC, here we go. Moving into another week, and man, I can't wait to get out of this week. Say things come in 3, and definitely the whole family getting the flu. That was 1. And then, of course, as we're regulating our body temperature, sitting here shivering, the furnace goes. So there's number 2. And then number 3 is, well, you can probably tell by my face, I got a little bit beat up. No, I didn't get punched by anybody, but I was taking down Christmas decorations, and I almost dropped a tub of decorations, but it's okay because I caught it with my face. So hence the bang up in the face. So there's 3. Let's finish this darn week and move on. Still got a little residual. Happy to say I was on the bike a little bit today. I had to get in that damn Zwift Tri Academy last finish line run and almost killed me, but I'm optimistic I'm going to be back next week. We have a recovery week, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and the importance of recovery, or even using that week to re-enter training, which will be my case. And sitting here watching Ironman Arizona, just reminiscing of good old times last year and how I can't wait to race again. On that note, we got a couple people racing coming up. I want to give a huge shout out to Sam Green, who will be competing at the World Championships in Dubai next weekend. That's at the Olympic distance or standard distance. I don't use Olympic anymore. Lexi also here will be in Dubai racing one of the events as well. I'm not too sure whether it's a standard or a sprint or what, but you could just sign up. So that's pretty darn cool. And we have 2 Ironman 70.3 La Quinta athletes. I believe only 2. Let me know if there's any more going. But Kelly Lee and Matt Long will be heading down to California. Not this weekend coming up, or but the following. So anyway, I think that'll be wrapping up the season. We'll see. Just keep on racing. So the other things is talk about racing. Victoria 70.3. I got a notice today that prices are going up tomorrow, as you saw on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, I pulled the trigger on that one. So let's get to the Victoria 70.3 and take those Ironman Tri-Club Points Championships of the West, or whatever the title is. This will be the last week coming up here for Ironman Canada. If you're looking to get into the Flex 90 program, which allows you to do the deferrals or the partial refunds, etc. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility if something comes up between now and Ironman, or who knows on the race day whether, forest fires or other acts of God, COVID, might require deferral. So anyway, keep your eyes on that if you're looking to do those races. So coming up this week, recovery week. Recovery is when you get better. It's when you reach a new level. So this is an incredibly important week. We're going to throw one of these in about every 3 to 4 weeks. So 3 to 4 weeks of work and then a recovery week. Again, the purpose of the recovery week is to allow all the training stress that you have loaded on to dissipate, for your body to absorb it, which basically means your body repairs all the damage you've done, and it probably also grows a little bit stronger in preparation for you doing that all over again. So that is when you should feel you're making jumps to the next level. Yes, it does require discipline to stop training hard, which is the hardest part. And just to give you a quick look, I should pull up mine here. Let me jump into my my Training Peaks Performance Management, which of course didn't load up properly there, so I'm going to refresh. Okay, there we go, after computer all freezing up here. But this is one of the main charts in Training Peaks, and when you look at this chart, the name Training Peaks actually seems to make sense. So you can see the pink lines here, they go up and down. This is your acute training load, so your short-term 4-day training load. The blue line is your chronic training load, so training stress applied over 42-day period. So long-term training stress, they've termed it fitness. Basically, the more chronic training stress you accumulate, theoretically, the more fit you become. And then, of course, the inverse relationship is the yellow, which is your form. Inverse relationship, I should say, to the pink line, the acute training load. So as you see pink go up, form or freshness is going to go down, and vice versa. So leading up to Ironman, which is this peak here, this would have been peaked out training week, and then racing would have been probably somewhere around, where are we here? Racing was around here, a little back. It might actually have been on that day. Yep, the 28th, that big day. So training peaked out here. This is what the Ironman acute training load looked like on that day. But as you can see, basically each training block, I stressed myself out, and then I allowed myself to recover. And that's where the fitness or performance gains actually happen. So stress yourself out, back, stress yourself, recover. So that recovery is incredibly important. If you don't allow that body to absorb all the training, eventually your fitness score may go up, but that doesn't always necessarily relate to performance. You're probably going to hit a plateau, become stagnant, and may even see overtraining start to set in where you're starting to see performance decrease. A lot of different things happening in the body in terms of balancing all these systems. And when you stress yourself out too much for too long, your body will reset itself whether you like it or not. And basically it just turns itself off, and you're not going to see those performance gains anymore. And if you do go too far, it can take months, if not years, to overcome that overtraining syndrome, to get the hormones all back in check again, to have everything firing the way it should be. So really important that you do take the rest seriously, because if you decide to just work and work and work, which is something I used to do in my younger, less experienced days, I guarantee you're going to end up in two places: overtrained or injured. Either way, you're not hitting the start line, and that is it for your season. So want to make sure nobody gets there, which is why we are going to put some real focused work into recovery this year. So that is the focus this week. Tomorrow, obviously, is a day off. If you want to do some easy activities, you're more than welcome to. We are going to be circling back. I appreciate Kayla, Pat, for delivering the workouts this week. Thank you, everybody. Hope you're able to just swim out some aerobic endurance, and you know what, getting some volume before the recovery week. This actually might have lined up a little bit better, because we are going to go back to some video on the Tuesday, Thursday. Most groups is going to take 2 sessions to get through everybody, especially as we start talking about some of your, the technical aspects of the stroke. I'm looking at the wrong week here. There we are. This is the week that we're in. So we are going to be, some people will be swimming out a little bit more aerobic work while we do the filming. So same strategy. You're going to see that on both days. The weights we're taking back to week number 1, and I shouldn't even say weights, but strength training, flexibility, mobility, stability, all that easy stuff we're going to still keep on, but we're going to keep it really easy again this week, actually easier than last week. So it is a little bit of a step back, but again, the whole purpose is to lower the training stress on what you did in the last couple of weeks, or specifically 3 weeks. Keeping the runs light as well. We got a little bit of stride work, super short run. My goal is to get back down on the treadmill again and do these workouts. Friday's a little bit harder with some hills that are going to progressively increase, which is the exact same as we did last week, except we're going to be taking it up a notch. So this one will be a little higher quality work. So there is one workout in the week that you'll be asked to run a little bit harder, running uphill at tempo. That'll get you going a bit. But if you're able to do it on treadmill, which is what I recommend, you should have minimal impact stress, because you're just running uphill and then flat again, uphill, flat. So no downhill pounding going on, again, if you're able to do it on a treadmill. The Saturday, we're back in the pool, so we'll do some dry land, some activation, and we're going to be swimming out a set of getting into some more 100s. Still some speed change stuff. We are going to get into some of our extreme sets coming. So dry land will be starting to shorten up a little bit starting next week. And I shouldn't say next week, the week after next, in the next training block, and we are going to start extending out some of our swimming. If you want to join in for a little bit of riding on Zwift on Saturday, as well as our Sunday run, I put that run back out on Facebook. I'm not sure how this week went, but hopefully we can continue to build on the momentum at least 2 weeks ago. And once again, I can't wait to actually rejoin you this week and get back to it. So recovery week, incredibly important. For me, this recovery week is more of a re-entry week. So recovery weeks can look wildly different, and they don't even necessarily always need to be weeks. Sometimes they can be shorter durations, blocks of 2 to 4 days. Sometimes they can even go longer, or they're forced, which being sick is definitely forced recovery. If you can look at the bright side on anything in terms of illness, well, my body feels fantastic. Everything else may not feel that good, but it definitely gave me some time to let the muscles heal up. Everything feels good in that respect. And when you have forced recovery, that means you can just get back into it. So if for some reason I was feeling fantastic and I wanted to work next week, then I probably would work throwing some harder effort workouts. So it's, I would consider my last week I just had as a recovery week. That being said, because I'm still really feeling it in the chest and the energy's still a little iffy, I'm definitely going to use this week as a re-entry as opposed to I've already had a recovery. I need to really get back to it, especially this time of year when, I'm not racing La Quinta or World, so I don't have any urgency to get back at it hard. Oh, boy. So anyway, if you're really managing how you're feeling in terms of getting to the end of these training blocks, you should be tired and beat up and ready for a rest. That should be your main goal, which again, we'll start that the week after next and as we start the next training block in December. And by pretty much Christmas time or just after, you should be like, okay, I need a break and get ready to hit January with a whole new training block. So we're going to continue on that month after month after month. And again, crush every race that you are signed up for this year. And if you're not signed up yet, again, get in on those because you're not going to want to miss out. That is it. We will see you in the pool bright and early Tuesday morning or dark and late Tuesday morning. And hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Let's go another week.